Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another StarCast TV commentary done by myself, Flash for the win. Today we'll be doing a commentary between the two players, Ample and Motive. Ample is our blue Terran here, spawning at the 12 o'clock position on Sylphid, while Motive is our yellow Protoss, spawning here at the bottom right-hand position as the yellow Protoss. So a little bit about these two players. Ample I would consider kind of like an upper B tier level player, lower A tier Terran. He is known for being able to make it through qualifiers to get into the larger tournaments, and once in a while makes a deep run. I think at KSL 3 he managed to get into the round of 8, and I think was promptly swept by Mini, I believe. But generally speaking, he's good enough to make it into major tournaments, but usually not able to make it very far. I think for the most part, in every single ASL tournament he's been into, he gets into the round 24 and then stops there. He's never able to manage to escape the group stages. Motive, on the other hand, was I believe a KT player. I think actually both these players were KT. And Motive was mostly, I think, a mediocre StarCraft 2 player who was considered, I think, a sniper for whatever reason, but he was a StarCraft 2 player on KT roster, and now he has come to the StarCraft BroodWar scene. I'm not so familiar with his playstyle. I don't think he's been in many large tournaments. I'm sure he's attempted to qualify for them, but overall, not really seen too much about him. So I'll be very interested to see how he plays in this best of 3 series. But yeah, so that's the introduction of these two players, and let's get right into the game. It looks like Ample here is going for a 1-Rax fast expand, no gas, whereas Motive has gone for the very standard Gateway Core build, and Ample has sent out an early SCV Scout as well. Yeah, normally when you see a 1-Rax fast expand, you're going to want to see this early SCV Scout come across the map. Just wants to make sure that the Protoss is not doing anything kind of overly aggressive, sneaky. He wants to make sure that he can see if Protoss is going for some kind of fast 2-gate, like a 10-15, maybe some zealot pressure that he's going to have to deal with. Unfortunately, he scouted in the wrong direction. But Command Center is now going to be coming out. Most likely going to see a refinery and a bunker follow-up as well. No refinery just yet. Here comes the SCV getting ready to go ahead and build it. On the other side of the map, Motive is now getting his Dragoon range upgrade, as well as his first Dragoon. And we're going to see that he's pulled one guy off gas here. So he's got 2 guys on gas. So it's going to most likely be a fast Nexus from this build. Probably either something like a 21 or 23 Nexus. And here comes the bunker with the 2 Marines in front. Make sure that no probe can get in. Although Motive has not decided to opt for any kind of early probe scout. Most likely going to be scouting with the probe and the Dragoon at the same time. This is very standard when going for this faster Nexus. You want to make sure that you have as much mining as possible. So that's why now he's going to scout with the probe and the Dragoon. And in the meantime, Ample is just now getting his gas, and he's going to be ready to plop down his factory right here. There it is. And on the other side of the map, Motive has now opted for his second Gateway. There's a lot of ways you can actually play this 21 Nex build. This is one of the ways. It's a very middle of the road kind of build where you are going to go for not too many gateways, and then you're going to go into a robotics facility after your second gateway. Sometimes players will choose either for faster robotics facility. For example, right after the Nexus goes down, they'll throw down a robotics facility. That usually signifies that they want to either rush into Reavers, or they'll go into 3 gateways and do something more of like, if you're going to try to attack me, I'm going to be able to stop any kind of initial pressure. But I think that now that he's seen this 1 Barracks fast expand build, that he knows that Terran really doesn't have any opportunities here to go for some kind of early aggression. And Ample managed to actually get the SCV in here. Now he's not going to get the full scout off. I think he was able to just see this gateway here. But he won't be able to see the Rust facility going down. Or probably knows it's going down. Anyways, it's very rare to see any kind of fast Citadel into Templar Archives build from Protoss in this situation. So he has a general idea that it is going to most likely be a robotics facility. Terran, on the other hand, is opting for very fast armory with a fast second gas. So it looks like he's going to go for a very fast 2-1 timing. Either that or he's going to try to get out the fast +1 in order to do some kind of early push out. Usually 4 to 6 racks is what you're going to be seeing here. And that's what Terran has choices now by opting for this faster armory. Motive is just taking control of the map here with this 4 Dragoon initial threat. With the Dragoon range now, going to be able to harass this bunker up at the front. And Ample's first tank has now also come out as well. So we'll be able to see if Motive will be able to try to get a snipe on this tank. Really nice barracks positioning here, although now the tank is going to come out. So he's got to be very careful. The Dragoons, we'll see if they're going to decide to try to dive onto the tank. Tank is in a very precarious position, but looks like Motive's Dragoons will in fact back up. In the meantime, Motive is now just opting for a fast third base. So we find this very standard. He sees, okay, you're going to play safe and defensive with this fast expand. I'm just going to go ahead and take a faster third base myself. And on the other side, it means that he's going to go for this fast support bay to reverse. And a very nice scan here from Ample was able to see everything that was coming out here from Motive. So he's going to be very well prepared for this initial Reaver attack. And you can see immediately going into that Charon booster upgrade for his Goliaths. And as well as the shuttle speed. So it's very important. A lot of the times we're going to see Pro-Russes like to go for Reavers now. Reavers are becoming much more popular in this matchup. But the tricky thing to note is that, you know, sometimes you're not able to get enough damage with this tech choice, and it doesn't really pay for itself. And you got to think about how much it costs to go into this line of tech. If you think about it, your shuttle costs 200 minerals, your speed upgrade costs 200, your support bay costs 150 to 100, Reavers cost, I think, what, 250, 200, 100? Very expensive units overall. So it's a big investment, and a lot of that gas and minerals could have gone into Arbiter Tech instead, or just maybe even taken even like a very fast 4th base as well, or just gone into probes. You can see Motive's money right now is very, very low. He doesn't have a lot of money to continuously build 3 probes at a time. You'll see here in the production tab, only 1 probe being made at the moment, and so he's very much starving for this mineral account. So this shuttle here is going to have to do a lot of damage in order, or not a lot, but he's going to have to do a considerable amount of damage to make it worthwhile for him to be able to say going for this Reaver attack was worth it. In the meantime, Ample is now going for quite a few Goliaths here, very smartly placing these Goliaths right where the shuttle's most likely going to end up going. One Goliath here inside the natural mineral line is going to be able to ward off any shuttles coming along this area. And on the other side here, we got a couple tanks and 2 Goliaths to ward off any shuttles that are going to come out around this ridge area as well. But Motive, I mean, Shuttle Reaver isn't just for damage, it's also to make sure that the Terran is scared to do any kind of early push out. And so, as Motive continues to probe up here, you're going to start looking for this 4th base over here as well to go for it. I mean, we already have a probe in position. And we see the shuttle being warded away here by these Goliaths, and the shuttle speed is allowing the shuttle to move about much more quickly. And here comes the Citadel of Adun, most likely a Forge follow-up as well from Motive. Usually right when you get the Citadels, right when you want to get the Forge, and there it is. And meanwhile, Terran is just going to opt for a 3rd command center. So Terran's just going to play very safe. It looks like instead of going for any kind of timing push, it is going to be that 2-1 timing that he's going for. 2nd Armory coming up right here, as well as the Science Facility. Can't find it right now. There's Science Facility. Vulture's coming on the map. No speed upgrade just yet, interestingly enough. It's about halfway done for the Terran. But he just wants to make sure that he can get a little bit of pressure here on the Protoss so he can't get complete map control. It's very difficult for Terran to ever manage to get any kind of vision on the Protoss if Protoss is able to get his line of Dragoons around the base. So getting these Vultures out across the map, putting down just annoying spider mines here and there to deal with it, gives him vision of the Protoss army and allows him to know where the Protoss army is to be able to sneak out Vultures later on in the game as well. 2nd Reaver coming here from Motive. Again, a little interesting to note because, I mean, he's already seen that Ample is committed to fast Goliath and Goliath range. It seems a little interesting to me that he would go for a 2nd Reaver. I mean, it's more investment in a 2nd shuttle as well to get damage done. Now again, if he was going for very fast expansions, like the 5th base over here, most likely would be his next choice at the other main, I could see this working out, but he's just really gone for a very aggressive shuttle style, and we see here that it's very difficult to drop in to this natural base. I mean, there's 2 Goliaths here, Siege Tanks already in position. Meanwhile, Ample is going to be ready to push out here to grab his third base. And on the other side here, I mean, Ample's already got full vision. Barrick's already seen these shuttles. Shuttles are going to be forced to pull back already. One shuttle is being taken down here now to yellow HP. So this shuttle harass has done absolutely nothing here for Motive, and Ample must feel very happy that he's in this comfortable of a position right now. I mean, he's only down by 6 supply right now. Usually, Protoss wants to be about 20 supply ahead of their Terran counterparts. And his 2-1 is chugging along very nicely here. They're about halfway finished. So, you know, in a couple minutes, I mean, Ample has a choice to either wait for 3-2 upgrades or just go for a very big attack. And Motive is going to be in a very difficult position to stop it. I mean, he's not making any Arbiters just yet, not even any Arbiter research being started right here. His gateway count is lacking, only 8 gateways at this point in the game at 11 minutes. Usually you want to be seeing a little bit more, either that or more expansions here from Motive. But instead, he has gone for that Reavers, and now he's not able to secure a 5th base either. So Motive is definitely a little bit of a precarious position. I definitely think he's a little bit behind in terms of the economy, in terms of army count, in terms of how good his army is right now. Ample's army is in a fantastic position. He's already secured his 3rd base. He'll most likely be looking for this 4th base next, as well as this 5th base follow-up here. Most likely taking 3 o'clock instead of this upper base. And the reason why is Terran wants to push towards the Protoss when they want to expand. Here comes a probe over here as well, and Ample might not have noticed this probe coming across the map, but he's more busy trying to grab a little bit more map control here with these vultures, and he's going to be able to see that this 4th base has been in fact started and is saturated. But if you look at the worker count here, Ample is just almost at 70 workers right now, whereas Moto is only at 60. And usually as a Protoss player, you definitely want to be ahead in workers. I mean, you're going to need more of an economy to replenish your army. And again, sitting on these 8 gateways right now is just very, very weird to me. He is not macroing the greatest. As you can see, these gateways are dark right now. Finally getting those leg upgrades, finally getting that +1 attack upgrade as well. But I mean, if Ample were to just go for this 2-1 timing, I mean, yes, he is down 30 supply, but there's no leg upgrades or anything right now. His Arbiter tech is very delayed. He doesn't have any research going on. Finally, Stasis upgrade being started, but his first Arbiter isn't even out yet. I mean, it's just about to come out now, but it's just very difficult to see what Motive is going to be able to do here to pressure. He's going to try to go for another big drop here in this position. Actually, very funny that there is a dropship over here for Ample that's just hiding away right now. He is getting his 5th base up, but his probe count's just not even enough to saturate it in the first place. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he's going to be able to combat this first Terran push. It looks like it's going to be a very dangerous attack from Terran. Yes, he's up big in supply right now, but Terran, I mean, he hasn't even gone for that big factory explosion. He's only at 8 right now, so I guess he's already done it, but he can definitely go up to more. 11 factories is usually what you want to be seeing. 3 factories with machine shops and 8 factories for making Vultures and Goliaths. 2-1 has finished. 3-2 is being started now as well for the Terran. And here comes a little drop here from Ample to be a little bit annoying. Pros are being forced to pull down to the bottom area. Meanwhile, Protoss is looking for an attack here across the middle of the map. 1 shuttle here with the 2 Reavers hovering over, getting ready to drop his units. But I mean, the thing is Motive has waited too long now, and Ample is now able to catch up in supply. Ample is now at max, and here comes his push. Now, there is something that you have to worry about for Ample. His tank count is looking very, very low. And the reason why that is because he's only got 2 machine shops of factories building his siege tanks. And now here comes the 2 shuttles coming out. Will he be able to drop on top of these units? Not able to get too good of a drop. In fact, the Reavers only get 1 Scarab shot off, and here come the Zealots coming in here to attack these Vultures. Getting a pretty good attack here, actually. There's not a whole lot of Vultures here to deal with these Zealots, and Zealots are able to get right on top of these siege tanks. In fact, even another Reaver coming out here for Motive, and now he's going to be able to pivot over to this 4th base and be able to attempt to take it out. And this is a very good attack here from Motive. Ample not doing the best defense here. They didn't have quite as many units here to defend. But, oh, these spider mines are able to deal with most of these units now. And now that these tanks here are in position and these SCVs being pulled, I don't think that Motive is going to be able to do quite enough damage here to be able to put himself in a much better position. Now, if you can get the sniper, this command center would be very, very big. Looks like SCVs are coming pulled here to repair this command center. Doing a very good job right now. Picking up a couple of SCVs, this is very nice. Shell's going to try to get up here and drop Zealots on top of these siege tanks, not able to do too much. and the Dragoons are going to be forced to pull back. So Motive overall, his attack seemed to have done a little bit of damage, but not enough. He ended up losing quite a bit of his supply. He's now down supply, and even losing even more supply to these spider mines. Oh, big hits from those spider mines. His entire Dragoon force has now been wiped out. As again, we can see from this gateway count, Motive's gateway count is just not really that explosive right now. Only at, as we can see, 11 gateways, 12, 13 are coming out. But his probe count is very low, 58 probes only, no gateways at his secondary main base. So he is not looking great in terms of the economy. Really needs to start building a couple of more probes and start building those gateways over there at the second base. Now Ample here is going to start pushing out, and I think this is a great timing for Ample. I mean, his 32 upgrades are just about to finish. If we look at the upgrades, they're about 3/4 of the way done. If he's able to come out here and get quite a bit of spider mine map control against Motive, he's going to be able to pick and choose where he's going to attack. If we look back at his base, and we see he's added a third machine shop now to add on more tanks, and he's even taking this 5th base here at the 3 o'clock position that Motive has no idea about either. And it's very difficult here for Motive to even attack it, because if Motive tries to attack that 5th base, I mean, his army is going to get sandwiched, and he is behind in the army supply right now. So it's very difficult for him to go for any kind of major attack at this point to pin the Terran back and deal some economic damage. Terran's 3-2 is just about to finish here, and we're going to see potentially a big attack coming out from Ample. Yet another observer getting picked off here. A lot of scans coming down here. Looks like they're just scanning the mains, just seeing where the Paras army is coming about. Good stasis on the science vessel right now to try to delay this force, but you shouldn't be going in here to attack. Do not want to lose any of these precious units that you have right now. The Arbor taking quite a bit of damage from those Goliaths. One of the vessels did get sniped off, which is very good. Those science vessels are very important to save scan energy. It looks like an Arbor with recall energy is coming in here to the main base. Unfortunately for him, I mean, the armory's already done upgrading, so even if he managed to pick up the armory, it's not going to be good. Now, he can get on top of the production. This could be a very deadly recall here from Motive. Recall comes down. Now we'll see how much damage he's going to be able to get down. Getting on top of these reinforcing units right now is not bad. Unfortunately, not that many Zealots in this recall. It's mostly Dragoons, which means these siege tanks that are coming out here are going to be able to get quite a bit of damage. Now, if he's able to pick off a lot of these production facilities, that would be fantastic right now, focusing down on 2 of these factories. If he's able to kill a couple of these factories, he'll be in a reasonable position here. Now, Motive is trying to go cut through the center of the map here, utilizing his recall to get some damage done through the middle. Now, he's able to take down a couple of these siege tanks and cut through the middle of the map right now pretty well, but now siege tanks are just going to take the high ground here, and that's going to be the end of this attack. He's going to be able to hold off this very easily. At the same time, managed to take down one of these factories, but unfortunately the rest of his army has been wiped out, so the recall not doing as much damage as he had hoped. Meanwhile, continuously trying to push through the middle of the map. Motive is just trying to find any amount of damage that he can. Unfortunately, there's just not enough units here for him. Most of his units end up in the recall, and Spider Mites on these Dragoons, big damage on the Dragoons. Losing more of his army. These Spider Mites have done such a good job of killing these units here from Motive, and Ample's sitting very pretty right now. His 3-2's finished. He's up 40 supply right now. He should just push across the map towards the main. That's exactly what he's doing right now. His siege tank line is going to be very deadly here. Now there's a lot of Zealots here, not enough Vultures, but right now he doesn't even need a siege up at this point. His army supply is just too high for Motive to be able to get any kind of pressure down. Motive's probe count is still looking only at 64, just not enough probes. He is trying to set up his 6th base over here at the natural expansion, but Ample's force here is so scary. If Ample just goes for this massive attack and cuts through the Motive's expansions, I don't see a way for Motive to come back into this game. He's got this massive tank count right now. It looks like about at least 1.5 control groups, maybe even 2 at this point. If he just moves over to attack these expansions, Ample will be sitting very pretty right now. But he's pulling back. Ample is pulling back very strangely here to, I guess, deal with this force. Now, I'm a little confused why he just didn't leave a couple of siege tanks here, maybe build a wall of supply depots here at the top. But he's bringing back so many units here. Motive is doing an excellent job of deflecting this attack. Motive is now Ample is trying to attack this 6th base here. A nice recall here from Motive is going to get right on top of these siege tanks. Now, this attack will be stalled out. Ample is playing very passively, and I'm not sure why. I mean, it could be his inexperience or maybe some lacking of game sense right here to just bulldoze his way through the Protoss army, but it seems that Motive is able to stabilize a little bit here to stall out this attack here from Ample. I was sure that Motive was dead here to any attack. Now Motive continuously losing a few more units here. He has lost quite a few observers with his army, getting them picked off continuously. But now, I mean, look where the army is. I mean, you've pushed through the middle of the map, you set up these spider mines, and now you're leaving your position here to allow Protoss to re-establish some map control and get some breathing space. He just needed to break through a couple of these mining bases, and he would have been sitting in a very good position if he killed off enough of these probes. I mean, Protoss does not have a way to reinforce his army quite as well as Terran does right now. Well, that being said, Terran only has actually 8 factories right now. I'm very curious. Again, Ample is he's not rebuilding factories. He's only got about 8. He's not really making up to that 10, 11 count. It seems like, oh, missed the MP there on that Arbiter. It doesn't have enough stasis energy in the first place. But regardless, it just seems like he's playing very passively, very scared almost, that he is not going to push through and attack the Protoss. I think he's overestimating the Protoss base count right now, because he's saying, oh wow, Protoss has 6 bases right now. He's sitting in a very scary position. But I mean, Motive's economy is not that great. If you were to have scanned this area here, I'm sure he has, he should know that there's no gateways here to reinforce a big army, an army trade. That's usually what Protoss wants to do. And I mean, I've got to say, 15 gateways right now, it looks like, from Motive. It's a sizable gateway count, but it's just not enough right now. You need a lot more from that. Tanks are nicely sieged up here, but there's no vultures here. A beautiful stasis here from Motive. Ample, where are your reinforcements? Where are your zealots? The zealots are getting right on top of the tanks right now. This is a huge fight that Motive is taking. The size vessels getting right on top of the army, getting picked off. Both sides vessels getting picked off right now. There's no EMPs, and only scans are left for detection. The siege tanks got collapsed on here by these zealots, and it looks like Motive is going to be able to clean up a lot of this tank count. Ample, what are you doing? Ample has thrown this game. I feel like he has lost so many tanks here. Did not have any spider mines in front, and I feel like Ample is slowly losing grip of this game. Now he's back down 20 supply. These siege tanks are out of position. There's no vultures to support this army, no scans either. The siege tanks are just getting rolled over by these zealots. Zealots getting right on top of these siege tanks now. Again, very good target firing on those dragoons by these siege tanks to not splash on top of themselves, but there's too many zealots here. The siege tank count is gone. Where are the tanks here from Ample? Just 4 tanks, it looks like. There's more tanks here to reinforce, but now his 3 o'clock expansion is being under attack. A lot of pressure is being built here for Motive. A nice reinforcing line here. Now again, does not want to lose these arbiters or observers to those missile turrets, but these siege tanks again are out of position. 3 siege tanks get stasis. The zealots collapsing on the siege tank line. Ample is doing a terrible job here of defending. He is just getting absolutely rolled over, and these zealots are just rolling on top of these tanks again, sieging right in front of these zealots. More tanks going down right now. These siege tanks are not easy to reinforce. Now dragoons getting top here. There's not many dragoons, but they're enough to at least deal a little bit of damage here. Now the siege tanks will finally have cleaned up all those zealots to be able to hold off its attack. A reasonable amount of reinforcements sitting here at the natural, and here goes Motive is going to try to do another attack here. Does not want to let up the pressure, realizes that Ample is not having the best army positioning right now, but Ample does have a healthy economy. I've got to say, this base over here is looking very good for Ample. His 6th base right now. His 3rd base is mined out, so Ample has mined out of 3 bases. His 4th base, oh my god, there's actually a lot of SCVs here not mining, so Ample's only really mining off of, I guess, 2.5 bases, you could say. He's going to try to go for another massive attack here onto this 6th base over here at the 9 o'clock position. But it's just pure vultures against cannons. I mean, he doesn't have enough tanks to really be able to push through right now. And that was his issue of losing all those tanks here at this battle over at that 3 o'clock position, was that now it's really hard for him to actually be able to run through a Protoss army, especially when you only have vultures here to deal with the dragoons. Nicely done here by Motive, holding his zealots back in order to let the dragoons pick off the vultures. Now this is a bad attack here from Motive. He's got to pull back a little bit. These tanks up here on the high ground are doing quite a good job of warding away, but it looks like he's going to run up to the top here. A nice Spider-Man drag onto the SCVs. SCVs are getting picked off right now by these zealots, so he did a good job of running his zealots past those siege tanks, and now siege tanks even splashing on top of their own SCVs. Quite a few SCVs getting picked off right here, actually. Down to 47 workers. This base has been forced to live, being landed almost immediately back down, but he lost quite a few of those units here. And Motive with a huge recall into this 3 o'clock expansion as well. Ample has lost complete control of this game. The SCVs are once again getting picked off now. If you watch this worker count just continuously dwindling right here, it is not a good position. Oh my god, Ample even dematrixing a Zealot right here. This is just a total disaster here from Ample. He had been in such a fantastic position, losing another science vessel, and now lost control of this third base. He doesn't even have enough SCVs to reinforce. He's finally got his SCVs back to mining here at the mineral only base. But here comes another recall here from this Arbiter. Where's the recall going to come from? A nice group of reinforcements here, and here comes the recall right on top of these units as well, picking off a couple more SCVs being picked off. Ample is now down to below 30 SCVs, and I was saying before and earlier in the game, Motive's economy was not doing the greatest. He needed a couple more probes, but now I've got to say Ample's force has just been completely demolished. Zealot's getting once again on top of these tanks. Luckily they're unsieged, but losing too many SCVs at this moment, it does not look good for Ample at all. He is now down 50 supply. He has lost all mining in this game right now. Both the 3 o'clock and that top left-hand base that he had is completely gone. He only has this mineral-only base. You can see his economy is completely crushed right now, and he's not done any economic damage. And every good Terran player has to know that when you are able to at least deal some damage to Protoss, you have to start dealing damage to their economy, and that's exactly what Ample did not do in this game. He did not go for the economy at all. He took this massive, beautiful position, cutting off his bases here on the left side from his natural area, and then he pulled back. Another recall going here on top of these siege tanks right now. He's going to continuously apply the pressure, not let Terran breathe whatsoever. Big mine drag onto those tanks, and now these siege tanks over here are in a good position, but it doesn't even matter. He's below 100 supply right now. His tank count is literally just these tanks over here. He's got about 8 tanks left over right now, about 10 tanks, a control group. Meanwhile, Motive is sitting pretty. His economy has not been touched. Yes, I have to say, I really think that Protoss needs a lot more probes in 64. I would say about 70, low 70s is where you want to be. But he's made it work. His low probe count has made it work, so it allows him to get more army supply. Nicely done here as well, moving a lot of these spider mines off. Good mine drags here from Motive. Now this attack here is not going to do too much damage. The vultures are able to clean up these zealots really easily. Will there be a good mine drag here? No, unfortunately not. These zealots trying to get into this third base to attack. It won't matter. Motive here coming in to attack this command center. I mean, it doesn't even matter. There's no minerals at this base anyways. I guess he's removing a comm staff from the game. Now he's even teching to Templar tech right now, getting that storm upgrade as well. Ample is just now, I gotta say, Ample's doing a little bit of fantasy GG timing. He's gotta know this scan was useless over here. I really don't know what this was for. I guess to try to do some damage to this army. But these scans should be used to look at where Protoss is right now and realize that, listen, I made a huge mistake this game of not going for those bases. Another beautiful recall of only Zealots atop of these siege tanks. That's exactly what you want. And now that's going to be GG. Ample conceding game 1 to Motive. Well played by Motive there, utilizing those continuous recalls to put enough pressure on Ample to win this game. Well done. But man, you've got to think that Ample really didn't. I mean, I guess he was really scared of that counterattack to his third base or to his 3 o'clock position, but just he overcommitted to the defense and then didn't lay spider mines in between those potential attacking areas. So really just poorly executed from Ample there. He got himself into a beautiful position and then threw it all away with poor army positioning, poor spider mine laying usage, and just overall not abusing the fact that he had this massive timing window to get damage onto Motive. We'll see if Ample is able to recover here in Game 2. Game 2 going to be played on Circuit Breaker. Blue Terran is going to be Ample spawning down here at the bottom left-hand position, whereas Motive is going to be the yellow Protoss spawning up here at the top left-hand position. Circuit Breaker, another very good macro map, so we're going to see potentially another long macro game. That last game lasted almost 30 minutes, so we'll have to see how these players are going to execute. Now, it is a vertical positioning, so I do expect a lot more aggressive play, though, compared to last game. Expect something like a timing push here from Terran, maybe some kind of 4 factory, 6 factory, +1 timing. Once he scouts where Protoss is. Alternatively, Protoss is actually able to go 12 necks on this map a lot of the time. really enjoys going 12 next actually. I feel like this map above all others, you see Paras is more likely to go for 12 next. So we'll have to see if Motive does opt for that. Looks like nope. We're going to see the gateway here on 10. And Ample. Here it is. There's the barracks. A little bit delayed actually. Almost built on 12. So maybe a more economic version of this. And now he's going to go ahead and drop the refinery right afterwards. So we're going to go to a factory first build. No one barracks command center this time. And we're going to see the core being dropped down here from Paras. And here comes the first SCV scout, as well as the first probe scout. Both players scouting at roughly the same time. And it looks like they're going to cross paths, so they're going to know exactly where each other are. I always enjoy games like this where both players are first scouting each other. It allows for them to play, well, I guess, is it always good? I suppose maybe it's not always good, because now they see exactly what both players are going for. They know how to deflect each other's builds, and it usually ends up just being a longer macro game. And I've got to say, after game one, I'm actually more inclined to want to see a faster game where we're going to see more fireworks, you could say. But as he's going to get in here, he's going to see the core spinning as well. Once again, everything very standard here from the Paras player. Again, pulled off one guy from gas, although early scout this time. So it might not be a 21x, or it could be still. But it could be a delayed, maybe 23 nexus instead. Only one SCV on gas, so it's going to look like more like a factory bunker expand. Or second guy is actually, second guy going back onto gas. So we could potentially see some kind of more aggressive strategy here. He has built 3 Marines, a 4th one being built at the same time. This SCV here, maybe scouting for a potential proxy. But very interesting, no command center. Guys are back on gas. He's not dropped his second factory just yet, or a starport. And he stopped at 4 Marines. So it's a little interesting to see what this build is going to be. It could be just a siege expand. No, it looks like mines. No, so it looks like it's going to be a 4 Marine soft fake double. You know, this SCV is coming along here. Man, fake doubles have just been so out of the meta recently. It's very interesting to see this build come back in this game here. But we'll see this SCV most likely be moving out to build a bunker or a command center. It looks like it's going to be command center first. SCV doing a very good job here, managed to get right back inside the base. And in fact, it was a 21 nexus for the Paras player. Putting down that forward manor pylon just to help block for future vultures. And again, we're going to see here if he's going to go for the early second gateway or is he going to go for a faster robotics facility. And this game is going to be the faster robotics facility. Now, Terran here has to be very careful. These 3 Dragoons can easily dive onto this tank right now. Some pretty good micro here from the Paras player. Has managed to pick off every single Marine. This is actually a little bit scary here for Terran. Now, he does have all these defensive spider mines. But if this were Bisu, and everyone remembers that Bisu versus Sat game, I forgot what I think it was on the map Camelot in one of the ASLs where he literally killed Sat with 4 Dragoons. Now, Motive is not Bisu, but he could have turned into Bisu if he managed to pick off. And that's something that Terran has to be a little bit more careful about. Is sometimes you can't actually afford to lose those Marines here in case that Paras suddenly becomes a god at microing and just manages to pick off every single one of those mines and dive onto your tanks. Now, luckily that didn't happen, but it's just got to be a little bit of a worry in the back of their mind. No research coming out just yet from Terran. We see the Fast Academy here. Looks like he's going to try to save minerals this game. Going to these fast comsat stations to be able to see exactly what Paras is going to go for. And we have not seen yet what the tech choice is here from Paras. Oh, there it is. Support bay, right as I say that. So it's going to be another Reaver game. And now, This map, I would say, in these positions is a little bit better for Reavers because you can come very quickly here to drop behind the mineral line with Reavers, especially if there's no tank sitting here sieged up. Here come the scans. He's going to see the support bay coming up as well. Sees the very fast shuttle and robotics facility. So he's going to be very well prepared for this Reaver attack once again. Now even getting an engineering bay. So there's a little bit differences here in this game. I think that he's going for this engineering bay much earlier to get missile turrets down because his armory is not as early as last time. Last time he went for 1-rack's fact expand and got the armory first out of all of his tech choices. This game he has gone for the academy first to get scanned and then be able to react to what Puros is going to be going for. And this time, because he doesn't have the Goliaths and Charon boost upgraded very fast, that's why he has to go for this engineering bay instead and most likely just build one turret here in the back. He's already got a couple spider mines laid out because he knows that this is the most likely position for Puros to drop his Reaver in. Second factory being started. Third command center is already almost done. So this actually looks like a one factory F fake double into a 3cc off of one factory build. It's a very economic, very greedy build here from Terran. We'll see if Motive is going to decide to potentially go for a break. Oh, Reaver Carrier looks like here from Motive. And he's really going to abuse this vertical spawn here from this layout because the carriers can get very quickly into this natural position. Engineering bay right on top of that missile turret. Very nicely done, pushing the shuttle away. Already taking some HP damage, so this shuttle's got to be very careful with how it's going to continuously go into the base. Now, there's no missile turrets down here just yet. It looks like he's going to use this third base and put missile turrets at this third base to be able to say, you're not going to really get into my main. I don't need missile turrets in my main if you can't even get past my third base anyways. And this is a very nice missile turret ring here from our Terran player. He's got to be very careful with how he progresses here. The shuttle, oh, very dangerous right now. Red shuttle, 26 HP on the shuttle. He is not Cal. Cal, nicknamed the Red Shuttle. I wonder what Cal is up to these days. I wish he'd come back to StarCraft. He was a very good Protoss player. I believe won the 6 Dragoons. And oh, he's going to see it. He's going to see the 2 Stargate fleet beacon. So he's going to immediately drop that research most likely. Or he should. Unless he's just going to go for a massive timing push here. So there's 2 ways that Terran can play this. Terran can either sit back and say, okay, you're going to go for carriers. I'll allow you to go for carriers. But I'm going to go for very fast upgrades on my Goliaths and be able to combat those carriers. The other choice is to just go for a big timing push before carriers are able to be finished. And it looks like he's going for the latter right now, building a couple more factories to maybe go for this 4-factory timing push. Is this an unsiege? No, because I'm probably just relocating siege tanks into a little bit better positioning here. +1 is halfway done. We're going to see if he's going to opt for that starport to go for that 2-1 timing. First carrier is on the way right now. 4th base being started as well here from Motive. And this is the power of the Carrier Reaver build, is that when this happens, Protoss is saying, well, you can't really push out too well because I have Reavers. So I'm just going to be able to take a 4th base behind this and go for my carrier attack, and there's nothing you can do about it. But instead, Ample looks like he's going for that massive factory explosion right here. He's going up to, it looks like 8 factories. So he is going to go for this, basically, I wouldn't call it an all-in, but an incredibly aggressive strategy. I'm not sure when he's going to start his +1, or his Charon booster. There it is. Right as these factories are about halfway finished is when he wants to start them. So that lines up right perfectly when the first couple Goliaths are going to start popping out. And now Puros is going to have to be very careful with how he navigates this. His micro is going to have to be on point. Really is going to have to abuse these ridges over here and see if how Terran pushes. Now Terran should push to the middle of the map first because there's no ridges there. And then when they push up to these bases, he really wants to try to bring his units over on this side of the high ground pods, because if he brings his units on this side, well, carriers, as you can see, are going to be able to surround them from this side and be able to micro using these big ledges. So it's going to come down to how Ample executes this push. The ball is definitely in Motive's court to be able to out micro this, as we can see even more factories being added down. This is starting to look like more and more like an all-in here from Ample. It needs to end the game, otherwise his carriers are going to scale way too hard, and his army composition is just going to completely outclass that of Ample. Ample is not going to get science vessels this game. He's not going to have that 2-1 upgrade +1 is almost already done here for our Protoss player going for these carriers, and now adding some our Terran player here is now adding some insurance missile turrets over to this natural base. But this is going to be the power of the Carrier Reaver here on these close positions on this map, is that he's going to be able to bounce in between this 9 o'clock base here using all these ledges, and then bounce towards the natural base of Terran while simultaneously defending the middle of the map here with these carriers. So we're going to see this big push coming out. +1 has been finished, not even having Vulture speed right now. He doesn't even need Vulture speed because there's no Zealots here to really need to necessitate them. And now it's really going to come down to the execution of this push. The first 2 carriers, I believe, are out. We're going to see where they are. I'm trying to locate them right now. Where actually are they? Oh, there they are. They're in the middle of the map here. They don't have enough interceptors, though, right now. One of the carriers is going to be sniped immediately. Really bad play here from Motive. That is so bad. That's actually a terrible mistake here from Motive, because usually the count is about 4 carriers when carriers start getting to a little bit worrisome, where they can start being a lot more effective. But losing such an early carrier brings you down by 25% of your effective power, going from 4 to 3. And that is a huge blow right now, in that he's going to have to wait for that 4th carrier to come out. Reaver instantly getting picked off right now. This lone carrier is going to try to do some damage right now, but these Goliaths are just picking out these interceptors. I'm not sure what this carrier is doing. He's got to pull back. I think he was doing smart in trying to delay this push here, but he has just not been able to get his carrier micro down at all. He's just not at any interceptors. He needs to wait for more carriers. Oh man, this is looking really bad here for Motive. He's losing so many units right now. As you can see, his supply is even. Normally, even supply with carriers is not necessarily that bad of a position for Ample to for Motive to be in if you had the carrier count to match the supply. But right now he doesn't. He's got 2 carriers right now, not even that much interceptors on them, and Ample has pushed out perfectly across the map here, doing exactly what I said, moving through the middle of the map here, and now taking this close area on this ledge here up on this high ground pod. This 3rd base is going to get picked off easily. There's not enough interceptors here to stop this push, and I think Motive has lost complete control of this game. More reinforcements coming out here from Ample. Motive is attempting to stop the reinforcements here, but Vultures and Spider Mines are going to be able to deal so much damage to these units, softening them up. As you can see, all these Zealots have been heavily weakened. Carriers are desperately trying to be made, even going up to a 3rd Stargate to produce these carriers much faster, but Motive is now even supply blocked. He's down 30 supply. These siege tanks are going to pivot over here to this 4th base, and this 4th base is surely going to fall. There are too many Goliaths here right now, just not enough interceptors to ward away this attack. More carriers going down right now, or going down to lower HP. All the shields have been knocked off these carriers, so he's got to be very careful with how he pushes out. These Goliaths now at 1-1 upgrades as well. Not the best. 2-1 is usually what you're looking for. He's doing his best to pick off a couple of these tanks, and the Zealots are coming in here to be able to mind drag a couple of bad mind drags onto the Zealots. I think they did more damage to those Zealots, yes, than those Vultures. And now all these Zealots are going down. The Dragoons are going to be forced to pull back. Way too many units here from Ample, and Motive, man, his micro here was just not that good, and there comes the GG out from Motive. Motive looks like he was doing his best Bisu or best impression using those carriers, not his best store compression. And that's going to be tying up the series 1-1, going to game number 3. Huh? Specific game name already exists. Oh, probably someone else is using F2 right now. Maybe my friend Hyun's online. Hyun loves using F2 as his game name. Alright, going into game number 3, the final game here of this best of 3 between Motive and Ample. It looks like this map is going to be on Fighting Spirit, spawning up here at the top right-hand position as the yellow Protoss. It's going to be Motive. Which means over here as the white Terran is going to be Ample at the bottom left-hand position. Yeah, I think this is Fighting Spirit based upon the mineral layouts and the tile set. I didn't really pay too close attention when the map file was selected. Oh, it is Fighting Spirit. Okay, great. Just to double check. Fighting Spirit, I have to say, probably favors Protoss a little bit, especially cross positions. it's very difficult for Terran to really pick up the third base easily on this map, because usually what ends up happening is that Protoss will move like a control group of Dragoons up to the top high ground area of the third base where Terran wants to get, and then they'll just camp that area, and it's very difficult for Terran. They have to burn a lot of units to try to push up that ramp. Siege tanks are very slow to move, and so when they try to shell the Dragoons up at the high ground, it's a very slow process, and making any little bit of a mistake here from Terran sets you back by quite a bit, because Terran loses a lot of siege tanks. And it looks like it's going to be a 12 Nexus coming out here from Motive. Once again, 4-player map, 12 Nexus is a much more likely build. And both players are going to be very happy knowing that this, or at least Motive is going to be very happy knowing this is a cross map spawn. Ample again going for a 12 barracks instead of an 11 barracks, and then getting his gas immediately after it. So it just could be another fake double. Again, this is the exact same build he did in the last game. But here comes the 12 next. We're going to see how well Motive is able to defend this build, and immediately scouting with this probe. And we're going to see here the SCV scout coming out from Ample as well. So he's going to be able to scout Motive in second position. And he's going to see that there is a 12 Nexus being started. It is cross map, so it buys Motive a little bit of extra time here to be able to defend. And he's going to go immediately into the double gateway tech into the gas. So he's going to pump out a couple of vultures first before going into that Dragoon production. One guy on gas now again for Ample. So yeah, the more I look at this, the more it looks like it's just going to be a fake double build here from Ample. Although at the same time, I mean, once he sees this 12 next, we're going to see if there's going to be the SCV pull. Now, this probe scout will be able to come in here and see. Nicely done, chipping away at this Marine a little bit. So it will be two-shotted, I think, by a Zealot. And here's Ample going to come in and scout cross map. Now, Ample could just opt for a more safer build and just go into a faster command center once he sees his 12 next, but he will see it. He's going to come in here and see everything. 2 Zealots being produced right now, and yep, here comes the Marine pull, pushing across the map. Not building any more Marines, so it looks like instead it's just going to be a fake bunker pressure. These Marines coming across the map is going to just try to apply a little bit of pressure here onto Motive and say, hey, listen, if you don't maybe pull some probes or commit some more resources to the defense, I'm just going to kill a couple of your probes. But now, nope, the Marines are coming back. So Motive, I think at this point knows that, yeah, he sees the barracks lifted. He knows that there's not going to be no sort of big attack from Ample. Ample is going to come here and block the ramp. Really well done here, and this probe will fall. Now, these 2 Zealots instead are going to counterattack here, realizing that he has not built more Marines, so these Zealots will be a lot more effective at picking off some Marines, or he's just waiting here in the middle of the map to wait for any kind of Marine pull. And it looks like Ample here. Some chat going on. Ample is building that bunker, and instead skipping tank entirely, going straight into spider mines and vultures. So what he's going to end up doing here is pressure the Protoss by moving his vultures out to this left-hand side, and that's exactly why he built the bunker so much more forward than usual. The bunker is usually back here, if anything, to defend. But instead putting it very close to the ramp here, so that one, the Dragoons will not have that big of a concave to come around to harass this bunker, but it also allows the vultures a safe pathway across to be able to come around and apply some pressure. And I think Protoss knows about this. He's pulling his Zealots back. The vultures here are going to be able to get a couple of nice spider mine placements here into the middle of the map, well before these observers will come out anytime soon. As we see here, no robotics facility just yet. He's more content to be producing these Dragoons instead. And there's the robotics facility. As soon as he realizes that, hey, spider mines are coming out, I'm going to need observers. And now Terran taking a very fast and greedy third base. And this is a very good response here to this 12 Nexus build. Usually off 12 Nexus, Protoss can't really apply too much pressure. Maybe if they go double robotics facility and go for some kind of big shuttle break, they can. But it's very unlikely. Engineering base started as well, and we'll see this beautiful line of mines coming out here for Ample to stop any kind of potential attack from the Protoss player. Vulture's going to try to get up here into this third base, this 12 o'clock position. And Motive has even just conceded this 3 o'clock position. He said, I know you already got Vultures over there. I'm not going to take it. I don't need to take it. And instead he's just going to go straight for the 12 o'clock. Now, yes, it is a little riskier to take this because you have 2 ramps to defend instead of just 1. Normally what you do is you defend this natural ramp here, and then you just defend this top ramp, and it's a very easy hold on the third base. But instead, he's allowing himself to kind of need to defend a little bit larger of an area down here in exchange for not having to get observers faster to contest this spider mine area up here at the 3 o'clock position. And this third base will be finished now. So Ample is going to be finding himself in a very nice economic position, and most likely going to use this to just power him up to a very fast 2-1 max out timing at about 13-14 minutes. Yeah, even the armory is almost finished at this point. And it's down here at the natural base. And Motive, it looks like, is going back into carriers. I didn't even see this. Going back into carriers. He has faked his third base. This is astounding. He has faked the third base entirely. Ample thinks that he's going for his third base when he saw these Dragoons up here at the top with the probe. No, sir. It's going to be a 2-base carrier play. This time there are no Reavers. Oh, no, there might be shuttles here. Where's the support bay? It looks like he's just going to go for Zealot bombs instead. No support bay coming out here. Maybe he's just waiting for the shuttle to get to 50% completion, which is usually what you do in order to line everything up. But this is interesting. Now his scans are coming up, so we're going to see if he's going to know about the carriers. We'll see where the scan comes in. But he could also just get the shuttle for a break. He is making Zealots right now from these gateways. Oh man, this is such an excellent mind game here from Motive. Scans are done. Where are the scans coming? Oh, he sees the carriers once again. This is excellent mind games here, but Ample is going to see it. Beautiful scanning. Immediately going to more factories, although these factories were already started. We're going to see how many more factories he builds. A lot of missile turrets here at the third base. I think he knows something's up. He's probably scared of either Shuttle Reaver or just any kind of shuttle bomb into this base. Let's see here. No more shuttles being produced. Just 1 shuttle for now. Third base being started here for Motive. So once again, it's going to come down to how well Motive is going to be able to use his carriers to defend. And we're going to see how many more factories Ample is going to add. And it looks like it's going to be quite a bit more. Yeah, going up to 6 factories. Yeah, this is going to be a very scary push here from Ample. Now, again, this is cross-map position, so it's going to be a much longer time for this Terran army to get across. Instead, going for Starport this time, actually. So it looks like, nice scan, they're going to be able to pick up that observer. One more Goliath hit. Oh, one more. Oh, the observer. Oh, he's going to have to burn another scan on it. Now, luckily, it's not Arbor Attack, so these scans don't actually matter as much. But it looks like Ample has actually opted for Starport Tech instead. Or did I see that wrong? Where's the Starport? Hello? Oh, it's over here. Hiding behind my minimap. Science facility, second armory there. So here come the carriers. Now, because he's going for the 2-1 timing instead, this carrier count will get a little scary. It will rise up quite nicely. And once again, you're scanning, making sure no more Stargates are being added. Nope, just sitting at the proper 2. Fourth base coming down here from Motive. And Ample is just going to go ahead and secure himself this forward position, knowing that it is very safe to take this position across the bridge because, well, Motive does not have any units really to deal with it. Nice scan again, picking off a lot more observers. So Motive is playing this game in the dark. He's not going to know when Ample is going to go for this big timing push unless he continuously makes observers, and yes, that's exactly what he's doing. Let's see what upgrades these carriers are at right now. It looks like they're already done at +1. Another observer coming over here to scout. So we're now up to, looks like 8 factories. We should see a couple more here from Ample if he really wants to hit that 13-minute max out. And it's interesting that Motive has chosen carriers on this map. Fighting Spirit, not the best map for carriers in my opinion. The center is very open. I guess you could say that these ridges over here are good for carriers. But otherwise, once Terran moves across the map in these positions, I mean, there's not too many ridges for carriers to really abuse. Especially when there's no high ground ledge area around here. It's all flat low ground. So Goliaths are able to really see exactly where the carriers are to shoot them down. Now carriers are coming over to harass the natural base. I guess it's almost like Metalisks on this map, you know? They're okay. The natural mineral lines, I suppose, are a little bit vulnerable. Third base here is also quite vulnerable. Once carriers get up into this area right here, they're able to pick off at these missile turrets first, and then maybe pick off the gas and a couple of these SCVs up here at the top position of the base. But this push is going to be very scary. 2-1 is just about to finish, it looks like. Yes, sir. Just about to finish. Observer is going to see this push coming out here. And it's got to be very worried. His carrier count is sizable. Yeah, as you can see, 4 carriers out right now. Where's his other carriers? I'm sure he has 5 and 6 out at this point. Where are they? I was almost certain he had 5 and 6. Oh, maybe not. Maybe this force is coming in a little faster than I expected. Oh, there it is. 5 is there. 6 is popping out in a little bit. But those carriers are not going to have any interceptors on them. So Ample is just delaying a little bit of time to wait for that 2-1. He's just applying some pressure right now. Make sure that, you know, Motive can't just get away with many more bases. He's going to have to invest in a lot more defensive infrastructure. Here come the carriers. Going to try to pick up as many tanks as possible. He's doing an okay job here picking off a couple of these units. A lot of these interceptors are going down though. He's going to have to pull back soon. Yep, pulls back. Interceptors count is getting quite low. Counterattack coming in here from Motive. Where's that shuttle that he built? Did he cancel the shuttle? I suppose he did. Now this is where it's difficult here for Terran to really push out. Now he has killed off quite a bit of interceptors here, but these siege tanks are very vulnerable to these high ground carriers. But Goliaths behind this are doing an excellent job picking up a lot of these interceptors. Pearls is going for a massive counterattack here through the middle. And it looks like this is going to be essentially a base trade here. But Terran's defensive capabilities are a little strong right now. Now Zealots are going to have to get in here. Zealots are getting a little bit caught up behind these Dragoons. Now they're starting to funnel in big Spider-Man hits onto these Zealots. Not quite enough to badly damage them. These Zealots are going to get right on top of this defensive force here from Ample and getting straight into the natural. Will he detour a lot of his Dragoons over to that third base, or is he just going to try to push straight into the natural here? It looks like it's going to be a natural push instead. This one siege tank up at the high ground is going to do tremendous damage here, and now the army is going to sandwich Motive's force here. Meanwhile, he has surrendered quite a bit of his tank count to these carriers, so a little bit of a trade from both of these players. Motive giving up his army here to force Ample to pull his army back, at the same time giving up quite a bit of siege tanks to these carriers, and this allows him to buy more time for these carriers. I think his count is now up to, looks like 7 carriers now, with the 7th carrier coming out. So these carriers are getting into quite a that critical mass of carriers. Now he's pushing over here to the middle of the map. He definitely wants to abuse the middle of the map as much as possible to allow carriers less room for microing here, but he's just going to push straight up to this 12-5 position, and the carriers are very out of position. So we're going to see if Motive is going to decide to go up here to defend, or is he going to go down to that 6-5 position to stop the Terran 4th base there. But instead he's looking like he is going to go ahead and detour his carriers back up to the upper portion of the map. But it's a very scary position here for Motive. Motive is not going to have the best ridges here to micro his carriers. The Goliaths are in a fantastic position here to defend against these carriers. Yes, they are in a critical mass, but the carrier positioning is not great right now. I really felt like maybe going for a counterattack was the right move. This base is going to be forfeit, and now he's going to go back down to 3 base mining at this moment. Motive is going to try to do his best here to defend. The Dragoons underneath the carriers are doing a very good job here of helping to deal with these Goliaths. The Goliath count has been dwindling quite a bit, actually. He's picking off, target firing the Goliaths, not even target firing the siege tanks with these carriers. He's doing a fantastic job this game of going after the Goliaths and not losing too many. Did end up losing 2 carriers. 2 carriers have gone down, but these bases here are under siege. This base over here at the 12 o'clock will go down. There's not many Goliaths left over here to deal with these carriers. The carriers are now picking up quite a bit of these tanks, and they're getting a lot of incremental damage right now, being very efficient, cost efficient with these carriers. And now it looks like he's going to go for a base here at the top left-hand position as well, and can also retake his 12 o'clock base with these probes. His 3 o'clock position has now also been settled, but he's lost a lot of probes here to these attacks. Motive is just got to stabilize in this position, and I think he'll be in a much better position. His army is a lot better right now. These carriers, as they scale into the late game, are a fantastic unit here. The Lights are trying to detour through the center of the map to prevent these carriers from getting down to the 12 o'clock to the 6 o'clock position for free. They are doing a nice job here microing towards these carriers. Will a carrier go down here? I think that one carrier will end up falling. No carriers end up falling. These Dragoons made it in time to stop these Goliaths from pushing in here. Doing a really good job of using these Dragoons to stall against these Goliaths here. Nicely job picking off a couple of these siege tanks right now. 4 Goliaths being sniped off as well. These carriers are doing an excellent job microing. Much better carrier micro this time compared to last game. Spider-Man is going down, doing a very good job of picking up all these Dragoons, so now there's no more Dragoon support units here. No, actually a nice reinforcement line here of Dragoons to help to sit underneath these carriers, and Motive is doing an excellent job here of using his micro to deal with these Goliaths. Goliaths are now trying to target fire down these carriers again, seeing if they can pick off at least one of them, but no, not a single carrier goes down, just interceptors, and these Goliaths have now dwindled down to 2. These Dragoons have done such a fantastic job of delaying time for these carriers. Now the carriers are going to get right on top of this 6 o'clock position, and this base will surely go down here. Is looking in a much dire position. He is now mined out at his main base. His natural base is almost mined out. His 3rd base, because he took it so fast, is getting mined out. So he's not going to have minerals in a couple of minutes right here. These Goliaths are being picked off. These carriers have done a fantastic job of buying so much time for those Dragoons to help out underneath them. This command center will end up falling. These SCVs are trying to repair as much as possible, but even with this mass repair, he is losing a lot of minerals trying to repair them. Meanwhile, Motive has retaken the 12 o'clock. He's not mining from it just yet, but it doesn't matter. Terran, he lost another carrier, but Terran is just not mining very well right now. I lost 2 carriers, actually a little bit missed micro there. But I don't think it matters. This 4th base will eventually go down, and Ample is not going to be mining soon enough. As you can see, these mineral counts here at the natural base are just so low. Zealot reinforcement now going to be able to collapse right on top of these Goliaths and these siege tanks. And again, this 4th base is going to be under siege. And that's going to be the GG. Motive is going to win 2-1 here against Ample. A fantastic series played by Motive. And that's going to be it for this best of 3. I hope you guys enjoyed. Flash for the win here. Signing off, and I'll see you guys in future StarCastTV commentaries.